outdoors program anywhere, anytime. And also, we just tuned into YouTube. Hello, YouTube. And we're back on Facebook as well. Hello, Facebook. And here we are on NoogaRadio Outdoors talking about more great outdoor activities to benefit from with the wonderful outdoor amenities we have in the Chattanooga area. And I have another great guest. I actually have a couple of guests I'll be introducing, but I want to start out with my buddy, Dr. Tom Pop.
Hey, Tom. Cindy, how are you?
I'm doing really, really good. You're my buddy, Tom, but I like to call you Dr. Pop.
Well, that's okay. I can go by anything, so that's good.
Yes, and Dr. Pop is a local orthodontist here with 2 convenient locations. I know you're right up the road here from the
Hickson and then in East Brainerd also.
Exactly. And we know each other from our chamber involvement mainly. And then both of us are enthusiastic about outdoor activities, which created a little bit of a synergy there.
Exactly. And earlier in your show, you were talking about all the great outdoor activities. I hope people are out enjoying them today with the sunshine we had.
Wow.
That was good. And you kind of ended up talking about some water sports. So we want to get a little more into that.
Great segue.
Canoeing and kayaking.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. You said though, you might be a little nervous about it, but you will do fine. We're going to get you out there.
I'm determined. And that's the beauty of this. I get to know these people. So when I show up, it's a little more comfortable because they've been on my show. And that's how I'm trying to use this platform is get them familiar with some of the people that'll be there. So when they show up the first time, it's not so scary. It's not so intimidating to try something new and try to help them understand the culture of the outdoors people there. We love sharing. We love including more people and helping people get introduced to what we're enjoying and help us protect it as well.
What I think a lot of us have found, and I'm older now, but when I was younger, it's just the thrill of doing it. But now the sharing it with other people is really what brings the most enjoyment.
Yes, thank you. And that's what I was sharing. I talk a lot on here. I'm a hang glider pilot and had a tandem pilot on last week. We had a great conversation about hang gliding, and I miss the flying. But what I miss the most is the camaraderie, hanging out, having that in common and getting to share those there I was stories or what a wonderful flight, peaceful flight you had, whatever your experience was. It really is a very cool part of getting involved in the outdoor culture.
Yeah, we all have our tales from the river or the glider port or wherever it might be. So those are fun to talk about. Sometimes they're like fish stories, though. They get bigger, after they've happened.
Yeah. Sometimes you thought I even catch myself sometimes. Is that how that happened?
Yeah, exactly.
It's fun the way I shared it. But hey, Dr. Pop, you've been kayaking for a long time.
It is probably 50 years now. And it was kind of interesting the way he got into it. My sister was in the Girl Scouts and she came home one day and said, they're having some canoe thing I want to go to. And so I had a sister and a younger brother also. And so my parents loaded us up in the old station wagon and off we went. And so she's out there canoeing and this guy comes in and said, why are those 2 boys over here on shore? And I said, well, we thought this was for Girl Scouts. He said, oh, no, this is for everybody. And they stuck us in a boat right then. And I think that was probably one of the first paddle kind of instruction weekends that the local canoe club, Tennessee Valley Canoe Club, who we'll talk about here in a moment, was first doing. And that was 50 years ago, got started.
Wow.
And then from there, we got involved with a group and it was family canoeing. A lot of camping and a lot of good campfires and stories. And then one day we're out on the river and we see there's some other kind of boat that's not a canoe. And it turns out it was a kayak. And of course, had to do that. And
a little different.
And then through the years, just got more and more into it. And that was back in the days, though, we had fiberglass canoes and kayaks. So you actually kind of tried to avoid the rocks. And then
I can't imagine that.
Yeah, you go paddling on the weekend and then spent the week patching your boat where we'd hit rocks. But it kind of made people, they're Coe now, just everybody does that. But with a fiberglass boat, it was a little more of a challenge.
Well, and I'm going to be very excited to hear more from the Tennessee Valley Canoe Club because you're saying that them having that kind of involvement with the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and family activities and so forth like that. Because I think that's really important to, if you experience those types of activities when you're younger, then it's just kind of a part of you. I think it's an innate in all of us, but if you have those activities when you're younger, you are more likely to.
It is for sure.
do
And,
those
you know,
activities
I've got
throughout your
4
life.
children and, you know, they grew up paddling and just it's been a great family thing for us. And a lot of people are talking, you're a little bit nervous or scared initially about trying something new. But you don't need to be. There are resources, the canoe club, there's other things. And this area is just so great for water sports. You know, if you think you like that, you need to get out and give it a try and get your kids involved in it.
Right. And within a club, that's just going to be the culture of it. And if it's a business, they have to make sure you have a good experience because they want you to come back and they want you to tell others. So it's a win-win either way.
It is.
But that is a great way to get introduced through the club experience. And that's how I got introduced to hang gliding, as I was a part of a hang gliding club. And they, you have to go get formal lessons from a certified school and so forth like that. But, it's just so much fun to be a part of something where you all have that in common. And, if I can show up anywhere in the country with a hang glider on the roof, and I have instant friends.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's the same way with a kayak.
It's the same way with paddling. You know, we've, my children all race and we've raced in Europe some, and it's sort of, you don't feel like a tourist there when you're carrying a kayak around on your boat, and the locals view you, as, oh, good, you're here for the race or whatever. So it is kind of an immediate bonding.
That is, I get to meet people from all over the world just from hanging out at a hang glider site because it's a destination type thing. If you're a hang glider pilot in America, well, you look for hang gliding destinations when you travel and vice versa. So I love that. It's the same with sports across the board. Same. So I'm sure your vacations, you're scoping out where's the good kayaking.
We've had many week-long camping, canoeing trips. And like I said, for family activity, it's one of the best because, in our electronic age, sometimes it's hard to disconnect. And if you can get outside and get on the river, the other thing with this area is you've got the whitewater rivers. I learned to paddle whitewater on the Hiwassee, and then you stepped up to the big Nantahala. And then when the Ocoee in the late 70s started running, I mean, that was just, how are we going to do that? And you'll know the Chattooga River over in North Georgia. It's a really wonderful kind of wilderness river also.
Oh, wow.
So there are within 3 or 4 hours of the Chattanooga area, there are more rivers than you can run, in a long time. Especially we've had this great rain. So you probably see a lot of kayaks on top of cars right now.
I can imagine
running around.
Yes, I can. And it's really cool too, because I mentioned my son coming and us doing the bike share thing, but last time we never could fit the whitewater in because it's weather related and seasonal. And the last time he came to visit me, he's like, Mom, we just go, it's going to work. We're going to make it happen. So he got to go on his first kayaking trip. And I always I like the actions, but I always get second, because I don't get to do it. So I'll get like second and on the right. That's my spot.
So you're wanting that front person to block the waves from you?
Okay. But with it being my son's first adventure, I was like, all right, we're getting up front together.
Excellent.
And it was so much fun because it was his first. And then we got to experience the front together like that. And it's just a blast. And another great, the whole family can be on the boat enjoying that adventure together.
And with those, with the outfitters on the Ocoee or other rivers, like I said, they're used to taking people that don't have the experience yet. So you don't have to know what you're doing yet. They'll guide you. They'll take care of you. And then if you kind of like that, then there are options, when you want to start doing a little bit yourself. And even if you're not someone who wants the thrill of the whitewater, our area has so many beautiful, calmer lakes, rivers that you for paddle boards. And we, it used to be, it was just kind of canoeing. Then it was canoeing and kayaking. And now you really got to say paddle sports, because there's so many different options and they're all great. You don't, have to pick one.
That. Paddle sports. I like that because it can get confusing. Because I told you about, we had like a world champion squirt boating guy on a month or so ago. And I remember thinking, when Randy with Wild Trails had texted me, he was coming on. I thought it was a typo. I thought, that they got, no, it's really squirt boating. So there's just all kinds of water activities that we just don't even have a clue about yet. But what a wonderful area to discover them. Like you said, with all the different amenities, you just mentioned several areas that I hadn't even heard of.
Yeah, there is unlimited resources for canoeing and paddling in this area.
But you said that you do that for vacations a lot. What would you say is one of your favorite destination?
Probably for just a relaxed, wonderful trip. The Salmon River in the Middle Fork of the Salmon in Idaho. You can go there, and it's all wilderness region. And, for a week to 12 days, you are just out there. And it's not really wilderness camping, because usually the outfitters on the rafts, they cook up some pretty good meals out there. So it's not like backpacking where you're starving. And that would be one of the best. And the other really wonderful one is in Arkansas. The Buffalo River is a national wild and scenic river. And that's more one you would go do yourself, but it's got 400-foot bluffs, gravel bars, great swimming. It's just, a wonderful vacation.
I've hang glided, flown Buffalo Mountain in Oklahoma.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's nearby, but I'm familiar with some mountains, but not the kayaking out that way. But I am so happy to be near kayaking out here, because it is a blast. My son's already scheduling a trip for this spring, and that's at the top of their list. They want to make sure that they get to go kayaking. And of course, I've promised him a tandem hang gliding flight.
Very good.
So hopefully he'll be here on a Friday, and he can come on the show and talk about his adventures. That Texas boy can come on and talk about his Tennessee adventures. Well, Dr. Pop has brought a guest with him this evening, and he's actually brought Meryl Stark, who's the VP of paddle school. Is that right? Of the Meryl Stark. She's with the Tennessee Valley Canoe Club, and you're actually the VP of the Tennessee Valley Canoe Club.
Yes, that's correct.
But you head up the paddle school.
Yes.
I'm going to pull you around a little bit so we can see you on Facebook here.
Let's do this.
There you go. You're good. All right. Hi, Meryl.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
I'm so glad that Dr. Pop brought you along, since that's where his kayaking life began 50 years ago. And here it looks like the Tennessee Valley Canoe Club is still going strong.
Yes. The Tennessee Valley Canoe Club is still going very strong. We are really the premier paddling club here in the Southeast, with over 1,000 active members. And we just celebrated our 50th anniversary last year. So we were founded in 1967.
Oh, wow. So Dr. Pop was really there for the beginning.
Yes.
That is really awesome. And over 1,000 members, really?
Yes. We've actually experienced quite a bit of growth over the last few years. And really, so I started getting involved with TVCC when I moved to Chattanooga about 5 years ago.
Where did you come here from?
I'm originally from Charlotte.
Okay.
Came here for a job.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you. I've loved being here the last 5 years and looking forward to many more.
That's me. I'm Chattanooga by choice.
Yes. So, I just got involved with the Tennessee Valley Canoe Club very quickly once I moved here, really within a few months. And I've been going on trips with them. I've been on the board. They scooped me up pretty quickly. This is about my 5th year on the board, being involved. And it's just such a great organization. So many wonderful people. I can truly say that my paddling friends in TVCC are really just my local family.
Well, did you know have you been involved in kayaking and paddling before you came here?
Just a little bit, but I kind of found out when I moved here that this was really the mecca of whitewater in the Southeast. Just like Dr. Pop said, there are just within a 2 to 3 hour drive, you've got all kinds of rivers, both dam released and natural flow in Alabama and North Carolina, the Cumberland Plateau, just all over the place. It is just rivers. There are so many options, and even like little local gems here, like for some advanced whitewater, North Chickamauga Creek.
I hear about that.
That is just a magical run, and there's just so much here.
Well, I love that. And I love that because you're new to the area, but by plugging into an outdoor activity, you were able to make friends and connect that much easier.
Yes.
While you're getting nice, healthy outdoor activity.
Yes. And it's not just the paddling that Tennessee Valley Canoe Club really provides. We do paddle, but it's also a great social experience for families, for singles. We welcome everybody, and it's such a great group of people.
And that's definitely, I'm glad you mentioned singles, because it's so much easier to meet people doing an activity you enjoy than getting online. I strongly suggest if you're single, get an activity, and you'll meet lots of people that like to do the same thing you're doing. And it's just a lot easier to get to know people and connect.
Absolutely. And then also, of course, we do lots of paddling trips. We do lots of learning to paddle trips. We've got our whitewater program that really just focuses on getting people from zero to a proficient paddler, even possibly on the Ocoee their first summer.
Well, let's talk about that. So,
Okay.
so how does it start? Like my reference to hang gliding is you actually start running a glider on flat ground. It's baby steps up the training hill until you're ready to go off the mountain. So how does it begin with kayaking? What is zero?
It's pretty similar. So some people, zero is going to roll practice in the pool for whitewater, because one of the really important skills in whitewater paddling is when you flip over, you need to be able to get yourself back up.
That would be me. That would be the first thing. I would want to get down in a very safe environment.
Now, you can get out of the boat if you're not able to roll it back up, but it's definitely a lot easier and probably a little bit more fun once you can roll the boat. But it's not a prerequisite for getting started on whitewater. There's also some great sit-on-top kayaks for whitewater, if that's something that's really good for entry level, both inflatable and hard plastic. And you can actually rent those on the Hiwassee too.
Oh, wow. I can't say I've recognized any of those before.
Yeah, so that's a really great way. But really, ground zero for whitewater is just learning some paddle strokes and then just getting out on the river. There are some skills and fundamentals, but really it's about having fun. And as long as you're willing to just get out there and give it a try, then any instruction you take, they're just going to put you out on the river.
And I'm confident because I am involved in so many adventure sports. Safety is always first.
Safety is huge. And safety is a huge part of why it's important, if you're getting into paddling, to look at joining a paddling club. And we are really into our safety program at TVCC. We send people to nationally recognized swiftwater rescue training. We have a swiftwater rescue training for our members that we offer just to get people more confident and more competent in rescue skills. We even have an intro to rescue skills clinic for our beginner boaters who may not be ready for the advanced. But safety is so important. It's part of every trip. It's just you want to go out and have fun, but you want to come home safely as well. And you also want to know that your friends have your back when you're out there.
Yes.
So definitely.
And that's the beauty of it is that's the way the culture is. That's the way it works. Everybody looks out for everybody. And you are listening to NoogaRadio Outdoors on 92.7 FM and 95.3 FM HD4. I'm having a wonderful conversation with Meryl Stark. She's the VP of the Tennessee Valley Canoe Club. And Dr. Tom Pop has talked to us about some kayaking and introduced her and I this evening, and I'm so glad that you could come on and talk about the Tennessee Valley Canoe Club. So if someone wants to participate, and what's a good way for them to start plugging in?
Sure. So you can first and foremost find us on Facebook, Tennessee Valley Canoe Club. We also have a fantastic website, which is TVCC for Tennessee Valley Canoe Club, paddler.com.
TVCCpaddler.com.
And there you can see all of our events, not only our paddling trips. We have a very active flatwater group. I know I talked a lot about whitewater because I'm a whitewater paddler, but we have an excellent active flatwater group that does biweekly trips spring through fall. And then we also do conservation work like the Tennessee River Rescue.
Wow.
And we do some fundraiser events and some stuff that's fun to come out and watch. Every fall we do an Ocoee River race that we do to raise money for a national and a local organization called Team River Runner, which helps put injured veterans in, well, not necessarily injured veterans. We do work with injured veterans, but we mainly just work with any veteran who wants to get involved with that. But we put them in boats and get them out on the river, get them having a great experience. Well, so that's just kind of an organization we do. We fundraise for them a little bit. We've raised $8,000 for them through our efforts over the last year.
Awesome. And don't hesitate to text me when that's coming around. I'd love to have you anytime I can. That's what I love about this platform is when there's events like that, outdoor events that support a good cause. We definitely want to take the opportunity to spotlight and drive some traffic to that cause because that's helping everybody. That's helping people get outside. It's helping those people that need help, and it's helping your organization as well.
And actually one thing coming up, I'm going to think I've got a few minutes or a few seconds here.
Seconds.
But on Friday, May 25th, we're going to be teaming up with the Gear Closet. and raising money for clean water. I think it's Clean Water for Kids or Kids for Clean Water. And we'll be hosting the National Paddling Film Festival showing.
Shoot the website.
Yeah, it's on the website, tvccpaddler.com. Come check us out.
tvccpaddler.com. I want to thank you, Meryl, for coming on and talking about the Tennessee Valley Canoe Club. Thank you, Dr. Pop, for bringing Meryl on and for talking to us about kayaking in general.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And thanks for joining us. That's a wrap.